Hello everyone and welcome to Maria's GCSE English. Today we're going to be looking at how to answer Paper 1 Section A of GCSE Literature AQA. This is going to be a quick video because I like to do quick videos and to the point. You can skip around using the time sections, but let's get on. So, assessment objectives. That's the first thing we need to look at. And that's the first thing you need to remember when answering your question. Now, there are 4 assessment objectives for English literature as a whole for both papers. For Paper 1 Section A, you're going to need all 4, even AO4. However, AO4 is not assessed in Section B or in Paper 2 at all. So let me talk you through briefly what each of the AOs mean in short. So AO1 means being able to answer the question. AO2 means being able to provide evidence and give examples of how the writer has achieved whatever you're talking about. AO3 is being able to include and integrate context into what you're saying, and AO4 is spelling, punctuation and grammar accuracy. Now you may be wondering, what do the percentages mean? Which leads me on to the next slide. Now the next slide is all about mark and time divisions. So the percentages actually mean what percentage that AO, that assessment objective, consumes of the total mark for that paper. So, for Paper 1, you have 1 hour and 45 minutes for Section A and Section B. And it's out of 64 marks, with 34 marks being for Section A and 30 marks being for Section B. Why the extra 4 marks? Well, as we said, the AO4 addition. Now, it's important you keep in mind the percentage per assessment objective, but it's not necessarily something you need to memorise, just something you keep in mind for the exam. Now, I have some recommended time spending tips at the bottom, and it's not something you necessarily need to do. However, it is a good idea. So for reading, planning and checking, I would suggest 15 minutes. For Section A, I would suggest 50 minutes, and Section B, I would suggest 40 minutes. And why you should spend an extra 10 minutes on Section A, I think for checking, for making sure it's a high level of accuracy, and after all, you're getting an extra 4 marks for AO4, so you might as well try and get them. Okay. Moving on to the next slide, which is what the question actually looks like. So you'll be given an extract of whatever Shakespeare text you study. This will either be Macbeth, Much Ado About Nothing, Romeo and Juliet, The Tempest, Merchant of Venice, or Julius Caesar. Then you'll be given a statement, generally about the theme or character you may have studied before. Then it would ask, starting with this moment in the play, explore how far you agree with this view. Write about how Shakespeare presents the theme or character in the extract, and then explore how far he presents it further on in the play. Now, I just want to talk about how the reason why they give you the extract. Now, the reason why is because they eradicated the tier system in GCSE English. So everyone, whether top set or bottom set, all take part in this. So it gives everyone a foundation to start with, because not necessarily all of the bottom ability people will be able to pull out quotes for that specific theme. And the higher ability students, you all who are watching this video, are going to aim to pull out quotes from further away in the text. So that's why you should keep an eye on my later videos where I'll be putting quotes for themes, characters, everything you need to know. So let's look at an actual sample question, and this is for Macbeth. So as I said, the same structure follows. You get at this point in the play it explains, you get the extract, which is typically 30 lines, and then you get the statement, which in this case is Lady Macbeth is a female character who changes during the play. And for this question, I personally believe there's 2 approaches, and one is clearly the better choice if you want to aim for those top grades. Approach 1 is 3 to 4 paragraphs, spending 2 on the extract, and then 2 outside the play, plus an introduction and conclusion. However, I think there's a better approach number 2. Examiners might find approach 1 cold and regimented, and this approach is much better. So you write 4 to 5 paragraphs including both areas within each paragraph. So you talk about the extract and the rest of the play in each paragraph. Now, that is much better because that's exactly what the examiner is looking for, how you can link them together. Okay, moving on to the Macbeth paragraph example. Now, I answered a different question for this, but it's a really good sort of example of what you could follow. So I highlighted the AO1 statements in blue, the AO2 statements in purple, and the AO3 statements in pink. I'll go over the first sort of section of blue, purple and pink, but I'll pause it. You can pause it if you want to read the rest and take note of it. So, in the exposition of the play, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth initially appear immensely strong within their marriage, with Macbeth describing his wife. So first of all, that answers the question, which is, how does Shakespeare present the relationship? So that's just AO1, tick. My dearest partner of greatness, in Act 1, Scene 5. Now that's AO2, but if you want to get higher AO2, you have to explain it, which is, the emotive superlative adjective dearest is a term of endearment and acts as a clear depiction of how valued Lady Macbeth is by her husband. Secondly, the noun partner creates a sense of sincere equality. So that's really high level AO2. And then we move on to AO3, where we say equality within marriage would have been the unusual in the Jacobean era, which illustrates to a contemporary audience, which means an audience of that time, the positive aspects of their relationship. That's context. And see, right within that little section, you've included all of the AOs and you've ticked them off. Well done! You made it all the way to the end of the video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe because a lot more are coming, and also check out my Instagram if you want daily tips. But till then, see you soon. Goodbye from Maria's GCSE English.